Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to This Week, and gosh darn it, what a week it's been. We've seen the SpaceX IPO. It's now in the books. We've seen the potential for peace. Who would have figured? We've seen a market that seems to have returned to normalcy a little bit. At least on the borderlines of the last week. Last weekend, I said, we're probably getting an earmuff week. So green on both sides, volatility in the middle. That's exactly what we got. This coming week, this one's going to be tough to call. It could be a green week, like a straight up green week. It could be if this peace stuff continues. And it seems like Donald Trump really is into it because he's already been kind of giving Israel a word or two about their activities, telling them to calm the F down would be the word for it. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. The big thing I think coming up in this week though is we got the SpaceX ETFs coming out. We already have the CDR. I did a swing trade on SpaceX on day one using that CDR, and it was a good trade. So now the income. So your single share, covered call, the ones that are a little more risky, those will be hitting the market. Few companies will have them on Monday. Everybody should have them by Tuesday. So which company do you go with? Maybe it depends on how risky you want to go. I think I believe Harvest might be out tomorrow, so Monday. 9 Point I know is Tuesday. So between those two, I can tell you which one I will lean towards. And that's, well, I like it. If you pull the risk back a little bit, I like it. I like it a lot. So 9 Point, I know they're going to give about a 7%, bare minimum 7% between that the spot price and the strike price. So there's room to grow. So I'm kind of leaning in that direction, but I want to see them. I want to see how they perform. I want to see what's going to go on. Obviously, this is, there's a long way to go, and there will be lots of ways to get exposure to SpaceX outside of going into a risky single stock ETF. So it really boils down to if you have high conviction in SpaceX, then that may be the path for you. But for many of you, that may not be the path. That's for sure. So let's see what this all ends up looking like. And keep in mind, this year's only begun. Well, I mean, yeah, you can say, Candace, no, it hasn't. We're halfway in. But I mean, the IPO part of the year has only begun. We still have two more big ones that are expected to come out before the end of the year. Anthropic and OpenAI. So let's see what that looks like. And guys, with all of that being said, today is a special day. We are going to set up the board for tomorrow for Canadian Battleship. So we're going to be playing Battleship. Now, I'm going to show you how this is going to work. So first of all, let me pull it up. So this is the Battleship right here. This is the board. So you guys will automatically get 25 shots. So you'll have 25 shots. Now I will tell you, there's 64 squares, but you're going to have 25 shots. And your job is to sink. We got a beaver, we got a canoe, we got a lumberjack, we got a little rowboat, and oh yes, there is another thing too, I think. I'm pretty sure there was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I had 5. I might have to add one more by tomorrow, but nonetheless, we're going to be sinking the, I do. I know I have something else in here. What? All right, I don't know what it is. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I thought there were 5. But anyway, the way it's going to work, on the board, you're not going to see the boat. You're going to see an empty board. So all of these, and here, I'm going to pull these all off. all of these are going to be hidden. I'm actually not going to put these on the board, guys, because I was trying to think of a way to put them on the board so that when we do this, I could easily remove, and you'll see these up here. I could easily remove these to reveal it, but I would have had to cut these into pieces, and I don't want to cut them all up into little pieces. So if we're going to keep these, what I've done is on the board, we will have little explosions. And that way there too, you don't know which way to go, which makes it a little more fun. So tomorrow, if we were playing, and let's say Jonathan was up and Jonathan's like, I wanna hit A1. So we're gonna go to A1 and I'm gonna remove, oh, holy banana bread, it's a hit. So if you get a hit, you automatically get a free turn. So as long as you keep hitting, oh, oh, crap. All right, and let's see here. Let's put me over here. All right, so in this case here, yeah, Jonathan, boy. Here, can I actually, I'm going to push this over. There we go. So if Jonathan took a shot and went A1, this is it. So yeah, by the way, guys, these are the, oh, I can't believe I've already done it. This is the canoe, beaver, a lumberjack, rowboat. I could have swore there was another one. I might add one more. I think there should be 5. Or is 4 enough? Maybe 4 is enough. But, so yeah, so if Jonathan gets it, then he gets to go again. Or you guys get to go again. So obviously, it's going to be, there's going to be a hit here or here. And so you'll make your shot. So maybe Jonathan says, all right, it's probably going across the board. Let's go to B1 and we'll pull it off. Uh-oh, that one's empty. Nothing there. It is not. So, Jonathan's turn is expired. We go to whoever's next. And obviously they're going to take B2, and that's a hit and a sink, because that was actually I think that was the rowboat. We'll say it was the rowboat. And what I'll do is I'll actually drag in whatever it was, and we'll put it right there. Just, that way there, you got it. You got it. The object is to get all of them. So how it's going to work is simple. So there's 64 squares. So obviously, the more shots you have, the better your chances. Now, mind you, if you hit, you get a free shot. It does not eat up one of your shots, which is, you can potentially, best case scenario, you can enter this game with 50 shots. That's almost a guaranteed win, because once you hit something and you get those free, those extra free shots, it's almost a guaranteed win, 50 shots. So how do we get 50 shots? Well, do you remember the bingo game? We're going to do it like that. And we're going to do that today. Today, we're going to pick our stocks, and we're going to come down here. So, it's going to be the same thing. Like, let's say you say, all right, I think tomorrow at close, EIT will be down. Then bang, that would be your guess. And if that guess is right, we add a shot. So there's a total here of 25 of these that we're going to fill in here today. I'll move EIT back. You guys get this idea anyway, because we do that for bingo. Now, you'll notice these other ones, these 5. These are some Canadian things you don't want to run into. The channel members actually picked them. So you don't want to run into a bear trap or a Canada goose, or the Ogopogo monster, or a badger, or a polar bear. If you bomb one of those, you lose a point. So however many points are in the tally, one's gone. So let's say you had all 50 points and your first shot was on one of these, you lose. And here's the thing. You took the one shot, so that takes you down to 49. You lose a shot, so you're now at 48 shots left. So you want to avoid these. Obviously, they're not going to be where I have them right now. I'm going to put them in a random spot. And I will do one thing. I will try not to put them in line with a ship or with one of our things that we're trying to shoot. Because if they're in line, right? It's like hit. No, I hit a Canada Goose. Although that would be funny. So yeah, this is just going to be something we are going to be, this is something we're going to be doing. This is something we're going to be doing. So a little bit later today, we will fill up this board and we'll go through this board before we play. So tomorrow afternoon, once the bell hits, oh boy, we're going to fill this up right away and find out what we have. And then, we're going to play. We're going to play Canadian Battleship tomorrow. So I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, let's go big again. Let's catch up with the chat. Jonathan is first in the house. Am I late for another imminent peace deal? No. There's peace. There's enough peace for everybody. Although apparently they might need it in New York. They won. I think they won the NBA championship last night, and it got a little crazy. Bismarck, he says, happy rainy Sunday, everyone. Is it raining where you are, Bismarcky? It's raining here in Ottawa. We've had some rain. Quite literally this morning, when I woke up, it was raining pretty heavy outside. Samantha says, good afternoon, all. And we got Lance in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. And yes, you can't see the screen. I know. Lance, yes. Scott, I didn't get a notification for the stream start. Oh, no. Well, that's odd. Do you normally get the notification? Sometimes if notifications go stale, guys, sometimes what I will do is I'll just go in and I'll unclick the bell. You know that little bell for getting notified? I'll unclick it to turn it off and then turn it back on. That has fixed it for me the couple of times with other streamers where I found that I wasn't getting notifications. I can't guarantee it'll work, but I just know it worked for me a couple of times. All right. Mary is in the house, guys. Mary is our official captain of the like button. So, guys, if you have not yet hit that, please do it on the way in. It's a really good way to sort of push out the channel. It gives a lot more exposure, and it's a great way for people to, to discover the channel. I normally give you guys a goal. Let me do that. I have to refresh the test box. The test box is trying to tell me to subscribe to become a channel member. I'm like, I'm part of it. I don't need to become a channel member as well. All right, we're at 22. Let's just work on that. Right now, it seems to be a slow day. Actually, we have a lot fewer people in here. Maybe if there's a notification issue, that might be why. For now, let's just get it to 40 and we'll go from there. All right. And Cynthia is here from El Paso, Texas. Holy banana bread. Hello, Cynthia. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Lance, it's Grump's birthday today, 800 years old. Grump. Yeah, that's an interesting name. No, is it actually his birthday right now? I don't know when his birthday is. I just know there's so much going on between that and the 250. But yeah, well, happy birthday, Mr. Grump. Lisa says hi, everyone. Rory is in the house with an afternoon, everybody. Hey, Rory, how the heck are you doing? Yeah. Oh gosh, this is gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a fun week. Got a lot going on this week, actually. So, on Tuesday, I'm going to be interviewed for. I don't know what to call it. I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be like a magazine. It's gonna be like a little magazine. I wouldn't call it a big magazine. I'd call it a little magazine. I don't even know how it's going to be distributed. So, but hey, I'm looking forward to it. So I have that on Tuesday. That's kind of a cool thing. I'm also really looking forward to. So I had an interview. I interviewed Carl over there at 9 Point the other day. Great interview, and I asked him a few behind the scenes questions. So I think that was awesome. I think it was an awesome interview. I can't wait for that to go up. Now, because it was around their release of the SpaceX ETF. I imagine they're going to put a speed rush on that. So if we, if we see it, we might see it tomorrow. Tomorrow. We might see it Tuesday if we're lucky, but most likely I'm thinking Thursday. But I will, channel members, and I'll let you guys know, because normally you guys get to see things one day early. I'm going to hold off from releasing the video tomorrow until the afternoon. And the reason I'm doing that is that just in case 9 Point's able to get this video through their compliance team, if they can get that through and back to me, I'd like to get that out for Tuesday. But for that reason, I'm not going to right away in the morning release the video that could get bumped to Friday. So I'm going to see what's happening with that. If I don't have it, like once I've had lunch, if it doesn't look like I'm getting it, then I will drop the other video. The other video is pretty cool too, so you're going to get a cool video one way or the other. And of course, everybody else, it doesn't really impact you guys. Everybody else, you'll get that all on Tuesday. So, all right, Morley, hi, how are you? Says hi all. And Lance, do you have a prediction for the Fed policy rate announcement? I do. It's not going anywhere. It's going to stay the same. I don't think they're going to mess with it. I think it's going to be a pause. Well, it is a pause already, but I think that rate's not changing at all. Yeah, and I have a feeling, even though I said this could be a green week, there could be a little bit of instability on, I think, Wednesday for that. But I still think Wednesday could still end up recovering into the green, because I kind of always wonder. I kind of always wonder why people get so, I don't know, panicky around rates, when most times what the Fed is going to do is not a surprise. Most time, even if you go, like, go to CNN Business and just read a couple articles, see anything about the upcoming rate cut, and they'll usually give you a really good idea. They're not very often wrong. Sometimes there are surprise rate hikes or rate cuts. Yeah, sure. But this won't be one of them. I think it's going to be nice and flat. Rory, Wednesday will be the best time to buy stuff with the volatility. Perhaps. You may get some opportunity on Wednesday, I think. Rory says, see Lance's question. Well, I already answered Lance's question. 64 and 46 says, don't go into any crypto. All right. Explain yourself, 64 and 46. What is the danger? What is the Now, there's a lot, just to be, there's a lot of people that have concerns about crypto. There's a lot of people that still feel like Bitcoin's a scam. I'm not in that group. I actually see more use for whether it be Bitcoin or another crypto. And one of the things I think that's going to become a bigger use of crypto is when you start looking at AI agents. As you give AI agents more autonomy, so as you allow them to do more and more for you, well, sometimes you got to grease the wheel to do stuff. And what type of currency do you think an AI is going to choose to use? It's probably going to be crypto. In fact, when OpenClaw first came about, and you had all of these AI agents hanging out on it, they actually I think they had created a crypto coin that they started using with themselves. So I think crypto is probably going to be big, at least for AI. Now, can crypto be dangerous? Oh, it sure can. There are so many altcoins out there, and there's a lot of scammers. There's a lot of scammers out there that will try to take advantage of you. There's things that are called pump and dumps. There's rug pulls. So you want to be really careful. You want to know what it is you're investing in. And if crypto makes you uneasy, don't invest in it. Don't invest in something that, just because everybody and their dog might be investing in it doesn't mean you have to. If it makes you uneasy, Or if you're like, I don't know, those quantum computers are getting, are getting better and better, and pretty soon they're going to be able to break that encryption. That would be a very bad thing. But keep in mind that it's still a long ways away before you have a computer capable of breaking current. I'm going to say the word current. Current's important. Current encryption. Why is current important? Because the current encryption that is on Bitcoin or on any crypto coins, do you think that's not going to evolve? As AI gets closer and closer to being able to break all this encryption, do you not think we're going to create more, create better algorithms, create better defenses? Of course we are. That's one of the things that's driving BlackBerry. BlackBerry, they do, they have been working in quantum security, and it's going to be a big business. So yeah, it's, will quantum chips, will quantum computers down the road be able to break current algorithms, current encryptions? Yeah, 100%. But those current encryptions, they will all be updated, and then that answer will no longer be 100%. That answer will be no. No, they're not. It's not going to be able to, because there will be quantum defenses at that time. It's the way that it does work. A lot of times too, if somebody does invent something that can break through current securities, they normally don't release it right away. What they normally do is release it to the companies who might be impacted and say, here's what's coming out. I want to give you a heads up. I want to give you a time to fix your vulnerabilities. And that tends to be what happens. Anyway, that's, crypto. 64 and 46 is I've seen God faces to face. That was the message. I have no clue what that is, but that's fine. Cryptomycin. Ooh. Cynthia, hold conviction in what you invest into and research. Yeah, absolutely. Look at Warren Buffett. He doesn't invest in something unless he understands it. And there's, he's probably one of the most successful investors that's ever lived. And that's not a bad thing. If you don't understand something, you really should not be investing in it, investing at all. So, pay attention to what is in something. If you're investing in an ETF, and more and more people, ETFs are becoming more and more popular. If you don't know what that ETF is holding, that's a problem. That's a problem. You should know. You should, go to the website. Every ETF has a website. I mean, heck, here, let me show you. Let's go to, Orbex. There we go. This is a new one. This is the Global X Space Technology. If you look at this and say, oh God, I love space, I'm going to invest in this. All right, but what does it hold? That's a thing. You should come to a page, come down to the holdings and start taking a look. This here gives you an idea of the weighting. This here gives you an idea of the countries. So right now, this is a very, very heavy US ETF. So 76.42%. And down here, then you can see the holdings and you can look and say, all right, we got Rocket Lab, we got AST Space Mobile, Planet Labs, York Space, Iridium Communications, Global Stars, Viasat, Redwire, MDA. Love MDA. So it's, there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things that you can look at, and understanding what it does. If you're into covered call ETFs, you should know what a covered call is. You should know how it works. If I say the word spot price and strike price, if that's Greek to you, then you have learning to do. You might want to sort of step back and say, whoa, Candace, what is a strike price? What's a spot price? So getting basic understandings of how your investments work, the vehicles, the tools that you're using with your money to make more money, you want to have a grasp on it. And that's, that's kind of what this channel is here for, is to give you guys tools to figure stuff out, all of that fun stuff. All right, Rory, Quantum Leap. Oh, that was a great show. That was a great show for sure. Scott goes, oh boy. It's actually funny. I was watching something on Quantum Leap, and Scott Bakula, he just sort of ad-libbed the oh boy once. And then that became sort of a part of the show. So yeah, kind of cool. And Rory says, it's starting already. Yes. Face to face. Okay. Your Candace bubble is squared today. Yeah. I was thinking I was thinking earlier, I'm like, you know what? Whenever I am showing information in my videos, I go with a square bubble, with curved corners. So for consistency, maybe I should do that here. I only wish that StreamYard would give me a little more control, because I would like to have that bubble. Like, I would like to have it completely 100% flush with the side here. That's where I'd like to have it, but it doesn't give me that 100% control yet. I gotta, I gotta email them and say, hey, give me this functionality. I need it. So that is something that, we're gonna do. So, oh my gosh, guys, this is just one of these weird Sundays. Do you guys find it's kind of weird? Like, we don't have anything going on. There's nothing bad happening. Trump isn't threatening this, that, and the everything. Actually, Trump has been saying that he thinks they could even have a signed peace deal today. I don't know about that. I mean, heck, we can take a quick gander here at the news and see, because you never know. Sometimes stuff happens as we're here, but I do expect when oil opens at 6, I do expect to see, I expect it to be in the red. I expect oil to come back a little bit. So, oh, we were going to go, we'll go to Drudge first. They react faster. Yeah. Yeah, nope, nothing really here yet. Nothing here other than, yeah, the Knicks and New York City erupts in violence. Oh, like, why would you get violent? Why would you get violent? Because you won, I've always thought that was interesting. It's like, if you win the cup, you get violent. If you lose the cup, you get violent. Is there any way to win? Like, as in, a non-violent way to win? It's just, and it happens, well, I don't know if it happens that much in Canada. Well, other than Vancouver, didn't they have like that big riot many years ago over the hockey? I remember. Yeah, I remember. I think it was a while back though. Scott, can you set a negative offset from the corner? I don't have many features. I don't have many features that I can do within here. I'm kind of sort of limited. Like, I would like to be able to hoist my head even a little bit higher in the picture. Gordie Howe Bridge. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I did make the comment that I thought that the Gordie Howe Bridge had a better chance of opening before we got a peace treaty deal. Or did I say it the other way around? Actually, I think I said it the other way around. I actually, yeah. I said I thought we might get peace in the Middle East before that bridge opens. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. Like, I think somebody just needs to sit Donald Trump down and say, look, here's something you need to know. Canada paid entirely for the bridge. The deal was they used the tolls to get compensated, to get their money back, and then we split it 50-50. That makes sense. I mean, how can it not make sense to him? I just wonder if anybody's really just actually explained how it works to him or not. Dean Martin. Dean Martin, one of the old crooners. Zyborg, wasn't there a riot after the Habs lost about 15 to 20 years back? Maybe. I remember, I remember the Vancouver one. That was around that time that there was that Spock meme that used to go around, that one where Spock looks unimpressed, and you'd show the meme like him and in front of the riot looking unimpressed. So yeah, that's kind of craziness, for sure. So what can I say? All right, guys, it is a slow day, so you know what? Let's should we start building our board? Like, should we? Whoops, where am I going? I'm going over. Where is my board? Oh, it closed. It actually closed. Okay. All right, fair enough. Just give me a second here, guys. I will get it up again for us. Ba-dum bum bum. What is going on here? Where is, oh, here it is. Okay, let's pull it back up. I don't know how it closed. It just closed. All right, and all right, there we go. So yeah, we need to take our guesses for tomorrow. This way, we can earn some shots. Now, normally I like to get somebody in there. Normally I like to make a guess. But this time, I'm thinking, because I know where things are and I don't get any shots tomorrow, I'm going to let you guys do all of them. So guys, here's what I want you to do. Let's get our guesses together. So pick a stock or an ETF and let me know if it's going to be, if it's going up tomorrow or if it's going down. So red or green. And I will say this, don't give me like two different, like if we have like, there's like 3 different Tesla ETFs. Only give me one. So I don't want duplicates. All right. Oh boy. All right, let's start here. AEM down. All right, so Agnico Eagle Mines. Whoa, what happened there? Okay, let's try this again. All right, Agnico Eagle Mines. Let's see. And Lance is saying AEM is going to be down. All right, we'll put this in our first spot. Oh, I need to have them. There we go. Perfect. And we'll give you a down arrow. All right, Agnico Eagle Mines down. The boards of Candace. The National Board of Candace. All right, BlackBerry down. All right, let's do that. All right, BlackBerry. Okay, and we got BlackBerry, and I'll shrink that as well. There we go. We got BlackBerry down as well. All right, we got our first couple here. Oh, this is nice and easy. All right, DRAM. Is that up or down? Small. I just want to be sure. I think you mean up, but I'm not entirely sure. So please let me resubmit yours, a small. Let me know up or down, just because I'm not 100% sure if you're meaning up with those. We're gonna jump ahead to Samantha. Air Canada down. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna grab the one that's already the right size. All right. All right. Holy cow, you guys are really, some of you guys are thinking we're going to get a pretty bad market tomorrow. Let's see. It would be ironic if the EIT pick sinks the canoe boat. Take that, Alanis. ABX down. All right. All right. All right. There we go. ABX. All right. And down. Guys, I'm seeing a pretty pessimistic day on the market tomorrow. I'm seeing a pretty pessimistic day. All right, let's see here. Oh no, here's one. Royal Bank up. Okay. All right. All right. And, oops, actually here. We'll put Royal Bank at the bottom. And there we go. Royal Bank going up. All right, great. It's gonna, that's funny. As I was doing that, Lance, I was saying, oh my God, if it's a red day, he screwed the bingo. But I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't a bingo. All right, ZEB up. All right, let's do that. ZEB. All right, and we got ourselves another up. All right, ZEB up. Xanadu. Xanadu up. There, oops, there we go. Xanadu up. All right. All right, let's get Xanadu. All right, Xanadu. You're a tight squeeze in there, Xanadu, but we know what you say. All right, Xanadu is up. All right, Small says those are up. All right, so Dram up. All right, let's get Dram in there. Dram. All right, and up. All right, so we'll see if that that memory, if the memory one's going to do all right. SMH. Oops. All right, where did I type? I don't know where I typed. Okay, SMH, and that was also up as well, right? All right, let's bring in SMH. Oh, we're getting these in here nice and quick. All right, and up. We're earning shots. And what was the other? QQQ. Okay, that could be a good one, actually. All right, let's bring in QQQ. All right, and up as well. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Now, the greens seem to be having it again. All right. Rory, HDIF down. HDIF down. Okay. Let's... All right. HDIF and down. Okay, we got HDIF down. Perfect. And I'm going to drag these over a little bit, and I'm going to... Oops. There we go. This is what I want to do. I want to drag this over there so my head's not blocking part of it. All right, HDEF down. All right, and we got the DRAM already. Extendicare up. Extendicare up. All right. Let's put, oops, come on, guys. Command C, Command V, there we go. All right, we got Extendicare. All right, Extendicare is up. All right. Perfect. Scott says, any guesses for Go Easy? Funny. QSR. All right. QSR up. All right. All right, let's try that. All right, and QSR. All right. Oh, somebody actually came in with SpaceX. All right. And SpaceX up. All right, let's do that. Whoops, SpaceX. There we go. All right. Small says the VIX is low. Ooh, the VIX. 30 minutes behind. Just got here. Good afternoon. Hey, Paul. All right. And TT3 says, I hope things go down more so I can buy. All right. Yeah. Well, maybe. All right. Samantha says, pet up. All right. There we go. And we got pet. All right. All right. We need 10 more. 10 more, and we got our board ready for tomorrow. Zyborg, TVK up. All right. Let's come down here. All right. TVK. Okay. Fantastic. Let's see what we got next. BTC, Bitcoin. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. All right. All right. There we go. We got Bitcoin down. Let's see. Samantha says, yes, down would be nice so we can pick up some deals. I like that. Small says, thanks. Ian says, the sun's coming up tomorrow. I had to do it. I had to do it. All right. Sun. All right. Oh, and then Samantha says, see you up. All right. Let's get see you up. All right. See you. We will see you tomorrow and find out if you were up. Okay. Paul, there is info on the net saying Iran is using psychologists to help word the negotiations with Trump. Iran psychologist thinks Trump is a cognitive that his cognitive ability is gone. All right, interesting. Engage chipmunk mode to catch up. XDNA up. All right. I guess that one used a code for something. XD. All right. Probably a science joke. All right. XDNA. There we go. All right. What do we got here? Len says USCL up. All right. Whoops. All right. Oh boy. Tell you, those Canadian battleships have got a lot to worry about, I think. All right. Mary is in with CSU, Constellation Software. All right. Oh, we're running out of shots. CSU. All right. All right. TFII up. Okay. All right. Let's get. Whoops! I didn't pull my arrow with me. That's fine. TFII. And grab an arrow. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Our last two. What do we got? Myron says, I guess SpaceX down. I can get in. Hope so. SpaceX has already been guessed, though. So, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things, guys. Although, well, if one of you thinks it's going up and one of you thinks it's going down, just for now, we'll stick to one, but let me think about whether or not we can do two in that way. Zag down. All right, Zag. All right. All right. Oh, I just pull this one down. There we go. Zag down. And our final one. What is our final one? Let's find out. Let's see here. Ian says, I would actually say the sun would rise tomorrow did not mean the ticker sun would be up. Did you know it was a thing? Oh, I didn't even know there was a ticker called sun. So, all right, guys, we have an extra one in there. Actually, Ian did mean the sun. I was joking about the sun. Oh, boy. We can change the sun. Smalls has SCHD. Let's put in the Schwab one there. SCHD. All right. That replaces sun. We got room for one more, guys. One more, and then our board is ready for tomorrow. Seasons in the Sun. Awesome. Terry Jacks. And we got that one. So next, whoever gets in the next ticker up and down, that'll be the final guess for tomorrow. Whoops, I forgot to mute. Sorry, guys. And we're just seeing who is it going to be. Ian says, I still believe the sun will be up tomorrow. Okay. That's good to know. I believe the sun will be rising tomorrow as well. So, yeah. As always, TT3, XAU. Okay. You got to let me know, though, if it's up or down. Down. Okay, XAU down. All right. Let's get that. All right. XAU. There we go. We'll bring a down arrow, and we got it. So these 25 will give us up to 25 extra shots. I can't believe it. This will be great. This will be fun. I can't wait to see how this goes tomorrow. XAU down. Yeah, exactly. Zyborg. We had joy. We had fun. We played Battleships in the Sun. Okay, I like that. Oh boy. Sun is Sunico. Watch it be up tomorrow. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. I hear you. We played Battleship in the Strait. Yeah, although, I don't know. It's more or less Battleship versus drones, if anything. I really want to see that. Actually, when you guys mentioning that Iran was using psychologists to sort of get to Trump, it would actually be kind of funny. I don't want this to happen, but it would be kind of funny if the US got a bad deal and they basically just got it right past him without him realizing it was a bad deal. Either that or Light Bright. Oh, Light Bright. I don't know if they still make Light Bright. Now, I had a Light Bright as a kid, and I liked my Light Bright. But I don't think I've seen one. Now, mind you, I don't spend a lot of time in the toy aisles. But I don't think... you know what? It's time. It is time for Candace Google stuff. All right. Whoops. I just need a single Google. All right, let's go to Google. All right. Light Bright. Here we go. Let's see. I think it's still available. Like this is Staples. Like, yeah, here it is on the Staples game. Now this one's a game though. I wonder how that works. But it looks like there's still versions of it around. So, Slinky. I remember Slinkies. You know, I'm sure you all know the Slinky theme song. You know, it's a Slinky, it's a wonderful toy. You know, I'm sure you all know that. I'm just saying. The Spirograph. Yeah. Easy bake ovens and lawn darts. Yep. The lawn darts. I'm really surprised that those ever made it into. I mean, those things were dangerous. Like, quite literally, you give kids a weighted dart that they can throw. Yeah, those were pretty dangerous. Ian says, tax update. Was told by H&R I would get $4,700, then got an email from CRA saying I owe $1,150. Today I got a check from the CRA for $1,917. I'm done with taxes until next year. CRA needs to calm down. All right, so it's like CRA and H&R Block met in the middle. I don't know. That's odd. That is kind of odd. Marin says, did anyone watch the World Cup? I'm in for Ireland is not in sad, but I will cheer for Spain. Let's go, boys. Also, I hope Canada will go big. Let's go, Canada. I'd be happy for Canada to score a goal. Or is that what you call it? Yeah, I think it's a goal. I'm just wondering here. I don't think Canada has ever scored a goal in World Cup soccer to date. I don't think they have. So for me, they can lose, but if they score one goal, then it's like we won the Stanley Cup. They just got to get one in. One in. Light Bright only, it's digital, MS Paint. Yeah, MS Paint. It's actually funny. One place I used to work, they wouldn't let us use external images. Even if I wanted to bring an image in or email an image in so that I could use it as my screensaver, they were like, nope. And so I was like, fine. So I used the MS Paint on my machine. I spent a long time doing it, but I I built an image. I built an image. I think it was actually a Borg ship. I'm like, let's go with something that's geometric so that it was easier to make. But I was just playing around. I was just, just to the point that I just wanted to make it, put it up as my screensaver, have them basically bitch at me, and then say, I didn't pull an external. I just made this on Paint. Bismarcky says we scored a goal yesterday. Oh my gosh. We did. That's really cool. All right. We won the World Cup. Canada tied Bosnia 1-1. That's heck, that's even better. That would have been our next step, right? Step 1, score a goal. Just one. Step 2, manage to get a tie. So now, step 3, win a game. One game, just one game. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Could this be the year that Canada actually wins a soccer game? I don't know. Or I guess football game. Rory says, looks like Gary Bettman will win the Stanley Cup again. I know, he's on such a streak. Such a streak. I think tonight it might go tonight. Isn't it 3-2 right now for, I believe it's 3-2 Carolina. So, could Carolina do it? I don't know. Roku says, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Yes. I never actually, well, I never had Rock'em Sock'em Robots. We did have a Hungry Hungry Hippo, though. Totally different, but that's one of those games your parents buy, and then once they realize how noisy it is, they try to encourage you not to play it anymore. Ian says, I paid the $1,150 to the CRA a few days ago. If I overpaid, it will probably get it back next year. Oh, yeah. Ian, is that the self-employed deadline? Yeah, like you get an extra month if you're self-employed. Marin says they did the first game 1-1, so they have a point. I know, a point. It's great. Germany rolled over Morocco today. Was like watching them roll through Poland in 39 all over again. Oh boy. I wouldn't say that to the Germans. I have a feeling you may have just insulted a whole country. I'm just saying. Gary hates Vegas. Gary who? Gary Bettman. All right, I hear it. 39 wasn't fun. Ian says, I'm not self-employed. I don't know much about taxes. Now that I have spare time, I want to make a tax filing themed board game. Everyone would hate it. That is true. How can Gary hate Vegas? He's a betman. Oh boy. You should have said he's a betting man. Yeah, I don't know. Marin says, I believe Canada will win a game. I believe so. Really? Well, I hope. I'd like to see that happen. Why not? Yeah, it would be good. I think it would certainly be good to see us win at the World Cup, especially here where we are kind of, and I'm trying to grasp my mind around this. Like, it's like 3 countries are hosting the World Cup. It's like, why do they do 3? Do they always do that, guys? Like, so I know some of the games are in Canada, some are in the United States, and some are in Mexico. So when the World Cup comes around, do they normally set it up in like 3 neighboring countries? Is that kind of the thing? Has it ever been more? I don't know. I almost think I should. Oh no, I don't want to Google it. But I'm just saying. I'm gonna have some coffee. Oh, that was so good. Babcock coaching Edmonton will cause an exodus. Did they change the coach? I'm thinking from the statement, maybe they did. I haven't been, I don't pay attention to a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But yeah. Paul, we're done. We're done. We got them all. Oh boy. Yep. Oh well. That one, maybe, but yeah, we got them all. We got them all. Now, as we're playing as well, because this is the first time, guys, so I've been guesstimating numbers and stuff to try to put this together. If as we're playing, it really looks like things are going to go dismal, I'll find some kind of a catch up, because I certainly, when you guys start taking your shots, I want you to have a chance. I don't, if let's say, for example, if every pick on the board is wrong and we're only left with the base 25 points, well, I'll figure a way to get you some more points. Because I'd like, ideally, I figure you can win it with half, if you got half right. I think it's very doable with half right. Rory, let's learn dollar cost averaging to the whiteboard. Rory? Oh boy. All right. Request. I will do it. All right, let's go. Let's go to the whiteboard. Here we go. The good old whiteboard, and time to get my marker. All right. So guys, investing. Dollar cost averaging. You probably have heard it. DCA for short. It is basically, in a nutshell, it's the best way to invest. Why is it the best way to invest? Because you remove emotion completely from the list. So when if you're investing with motions, a lot of times you end up buying like when things are going crazy and going up, because you have this thing called FOMO, the fear of missing out. So as something goes up, you're basically saying, so let's give you this idea here. You're basically going, oh my God, I got to get in. Well, then, then of course, things don't always go up. They start to fall. Now, those people who are prone to give in to FOMO, a lot of times when things start to fall, they'll give in to FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So what happens? So they end up buying high and selling low. That's the opposite of what you want to be doing to make money. You want to be buying low, selling high. Or if you're investing long term, it's just, you're kissing away some of what you could have had. So when you typically look, now maybe it'll go back up, but maybe it'll go back down again. Or maybe go back up and down. And I'm just sort of, all right, here we go. Just give me a second here, guys. I'm just, all right, we'll just say that that's your chart. It's probably not the easiest chart to look at, but here's the thing. It's hard to time these little dips. Like there's a dip. Oh, look at this. This is a great dip. But it's really, really, really hard to time them. A lot of times if somebody is sitting on cash here, they might deploy it all right there as soon as they see the market turn around. But in this case here, you could almost call that a dead cat bounce. Just, and then it goes further down and it does it again. So a lot of people end up spending their money. They miss this dip. It's very hard to hit that dip. Now, what about dollar cost averaging? So somebody who's dollar cost averaging, and I'm going to get a thinner pen, and we'll go with, we're going to just go with a blue. So if you're dollar cost averaging, what you're doing is you're basically buying on a regular basis at a regular set interval. Regardless, go away there. All right. No, and you can go away too. There we go. Regardless of what the market's doing. So for example, you may buy here. Whoa. All right. Let's get my pen back. All right. There we go. All right. So you may buy here. You may buy here. This is your, just imagine that these are equal distance. I'm trying to sort of equal distance them. But what ends up happening is because you are buying at equal distances apart, you are hitting every part of the market. Ooh, it's funny. I was doing these equal distances and I just happened to hit that really good dip. I'm like, oh, nice. But this is what ends up happening. You're buying at a regular interval interval. Emotions are completely off the table. There's no emotions. There's no emotions. So you're getting a pretty fair price. So in fact, if you were to put in a line, you know, you are probably looking at it price-wise, you're probably looking at something like this. So you're getting a very fair price right across the board. There's no, you know, there's no guesswork, there's no nothing. You're just getting the fair price of that asset. And that's a really good thing to have. That person who's like, nope, I'm only going to buy the dip. I'm only going to time the market. You know, they're buying in the wrong spot. They're selling in the wrong spot. And the problem here is they're not going to have an average like that. In fact, their average is going to be closer. In most cases, their average, let's just say, whoops, come on, give me a line. All right, here we go. I want a line. There we go. They may start off at the same spot. Oh, come on. Where's my, oh, well, there's my lines. They were hidden by all these blue lines. All right, so they might start off at the same spot, but you're usually going to get something like this. So when you look at what somebody who is basically timing the market, they're that upper line. Dollar cost average is that line under line. And you'll notice that this gets wider as time goes by. That's the power of dollar cost averaging. As you get further and further, like, you know, if you've been doing it for 10 years, and your buddy across the street's been, you know, trying to time the market for 10 years, guess what? Guess what? that gap is really big and you're kicking their butt. You got really nice profits compared to what they have. So yeah, in this one, you want the line to be lower because we're talking about how much you paid. So dollar cost averaging, it is the way to go. It's very simple to do. Now, I will buy the dip. But I will typically what I do is I dollar cost average, and I usually have a little bit of money set aside for, you know, for dips or for sales. And that's the way I tend to invest, just because I want that fair price. And then, you know, if I do have a little bit, you know, of money set aside and we have something that comes along like Liberation Day, I can deploy some money. I've got something to deploy. So that's not a bad way to go. Not a bad way at all. All right. Now, there you go, Rory. Paul, Clack, the sleeper gained 36.5% since May 30th. On Friday, it split 1 to 10, more options now. And then Paul says, oops, May 20th? Just put her to work. That's what Rory's doing. It's like, yeah, we're going to make you earn your YouTube money. We're going to make you earn it. We know you're running you're running in the red, but we're going to make you earn that red. That's funny. Marin says, how about the like button, guys? I did it. Let's get this channel the most watch. It's awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Actually, guys, let me take a look at the likes. I challenged you guys early in the show at 40 because we were, you know, we're off to a slow start. Apparently notifications. We're at 43. Let's just pump that up to 50, guys. Just nice and quick. While you guys are hitting the like button, I'll have some coffee here, iced coffee, of course. That is good. All right, Scott, CBC YouTube channel about that made a video called SpaceX, the IPO where the math doesn't matter. Yes, I saw that. I did see that episode about that, and it's kind of true. A lot of the valuation on SpaceX, guys, it's not about the number of rockets that Elon owns. It's not about the number of Starlink up in the sky. It's all about where Elon is promising to take the world. So in a sense, the money, I mean, the bet on SpaceX is kind of a bet on Elon. And I did this big long, I did a big long monologue on Friday about it. So definitely check out the beginning. Check out the beginning of Friday's show if you missed it. So it was a great monologue. It was like, I don't know, what was it, 15 minutes or so on talk about SpaceX. But yeah, the math doesn't matter if, I'm going to throw the if in, if Elon's right, if Elon can deliver, if, you know, there's ifs in there. There's a lot of ifs, but we're going to see. I mean, we'll have to see how this all unrolls. I believe, I hate to say these words, I believe in Elon, not as a person, definitely not as a person, but he has this uncanny way to make things work. And that's a rare commodity. I mean, you know, you may look at him and say, how did that guy become a trillionaire? Well, because he has this ability to make things work. And I would never bet against him. I mean, why would you bet against somebody who's already the world's first trillionaire? I certainly am not going to bet against somebody like that. I may not agree with a lot of his, I may not agree with everything he says. I may not agree with a lot of things he says. But I do agree with the scientific vision. I do agree with that. So, that's, I always want to differentiate the two of them. Because when I say I believe in Elon, I don't want people to think, oh, really? Where's your MAGA hat? Sorry, your dark MAGA hat. I'm like, no, not that part of Elon. All right, TT3. Even God couldn't beat dollar cost averaging. Well, I mean, why would God need to dollar cost average though? That's what I would ask. Elaine is in the house with a hey all. Hello, Elaine. How are you? Marin, I know, Candace, you're talking about DCA. How about no feelings when you trade? Just go cold turkey. May work. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, all right, if we take, and we're talking, dollar cost average is investing. It's for investing. So if we step aside from investing and look at things like swing trading, so when you're swing trading, yeah, you still don't need to have emotions. You still, you need to check them at the door. Otherwise, you're going to make really dumb moves. Your thing, and the other big thing is to have a plan. You always want to come in, like the more structure you can bring with you into swing trading, the better you're going to do. Like for example, if something goes wrong, what are you going to do? What's your plan? You've got a couple of plans that if something's going wrong. One, you can already have determined, okay, if this falls to this level, I am going to take the loss and get out. That's my stop loss. Great. That's a plan. Because some people will do that because, well, if you're an active trader and you can't afford to be stuck in a trade for a long time, you're probably going to be using stop losses. And that's where you will take that into the equation as to whether you're successful, right? Because then at that point, you need to sort of look at, you have to calculate, you have to compare your wins and your losses, and your wins need to be bigger and more than your losses. Otherwise, you're not succeeding. Now, another option is if you can afford to have one or two of your trades, sit around stagnant for a little bit, you can always wait it out. As long as you have faith, of course, in the fundamentals. But you got to be careful with that. What if you start to wait it out and all of a sudden the market slips into a bear market? Your wait out could be a 2 or 3 year thing, or you might be forced to take some losses. That is a risk. That's a real risk. So you have to sort of keep all of that into consideration. Know when to get out. Have strategies. Like I invest in stocks that I know are going to come back up. If they're not going to, if I have doubts that they will, that they can recover, I'm not going to risk them. But I try to go with good, strong fundamentals. I also have plans when if things do fall, I've got a few ways. I can either just sit in it and wait. Fantastic. Sometimes I can do what I call them step down trades. So a step down trade, basically, if something's falling And then, the technical analysis makes it look like, yeah, it's probably going to fall through the rest of this day. Um, I'll probably sell it in the morning and then buy it back later in the afternoon. And what that does is you could say, well, okay, you just took a loss, Candace, and you just opened a brand new trade. Well, that is true, but I bundle it all together. And then I keep track of my initial break-even number, and I adjust it by how much I was able to sort of gobble up in that step-down trade. So, for example, if I were to, let's say, I'll say as it was falling, let's say I sold it at $10 on the way down, and then I bought it back at $9.50. Well, that knocks 50 cents off of my break-even point, and I keep track of that, and I keep it bundled. But now when I'm tracking that, for like CRA purposes, that would be a couple of different trades. So those are separate trades within it. I just sort of look at it as being a larger sequence. All right. Whew. Elaine says, was battling clothes moths. Forgot there was a stream today. Oh, no. I don't know which is more of a no. Oh, no, you forgot there was a streamer. Oh, no. Clothes moths. Yikes. I don't think I've ever run into clothes moths before, but I think mothballs. Like if you get some mothballs, that might take care of it. But yikes. And Paul says, I changed my ability at part-time work. The not working Sunday and Monday worked, but only working 32 hours didn't work. They still scheduled for 40 hours in the first 2 weeks of updated availability. Oh, boy. Yeah, sometimes they're like that, especially if they're busy. And you got to realize, like, if anything right now related to hardware, wood, construction in any way, shape, or form is probably going to be very busy because people are, time for the summer projects to start. Maybe someone's building a new deck, or repairing the deck that has boards in it that didn't survive the winter. So yeah, this is a busy time of year, I think, for like Home Depot and Kent and all of those similar type stores. Steven says, will the market liquidity flowing into SpaceX cause a sell-off of smarter tech companies? It's hard to say. I think there's going to be some money, though, that's going to flow back tomorrow on Monday. And what I'm talking about is a lot of people, they did a lot of liquidations, and a lot of people put in money to try to get at that IPO price of 135. Now, any of those shares that did not go through, and I think that's big, probably a big amount, that money's flowing back to people. And then they have to ask the question, oh, do I want to buy SpaceX now at 160? Or, or if it heads up tomorrow, maybe 170. So some of that money's not going to flow into SpaceX. Some of that will just return to things like Tesla or wherever it came from, Bitcoin perhaps. That's one of the reasons I would not have bet on Bitcoin yesterday. But mind you, let's actually take a look at Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is threatening to break out of this channel. So I'd like to see it break out of this channel, get above the red line. That's what I'd like to see. At least I get 2 days off in a row. Yeah, it's always good. I always find that if you don't have 2 days off in a row, it's like, oh, you just don't get a good rest. Because when I used to work for other people, I would find this is how it would work. You work Monday to Friday. Friday you get home and you're just tired. You'll do whatever or maybe you'll just go spend some money or something. And then Saturday is your day to try to recuperate a little bit. You want to forget about work. You want to try to get some relaxation. And next thing you know, it's Sunday. And Sunday you're already annoyed because you have to go back to work, the next day, and you can't go crazy that day. And I don't know. I just used to find that actually when I did, at one point I worked 4 10-hour shifts so that I could have 3 days off. 3 days actually was the sweet spot, right? Because then, Saturday you recuperate from work. Then, if it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday that you have off, and then Sunday you just enjoy yourself completely. And then Monday, you worry about going back to work the next day. So unless you have a job you love. Now, if you have a job you love, you don't have to worry so much. All right. Marin says 70 would be really nice. Really? Well, yeah, 70 would be fantastic. But I'll take a look, see how we're doing, refresh the old test box. 51. Nice. So 70. Guys, you might be able to pull it off. Maybe. That hits the spot. That hits the spot. SPCX dollar cost averaging. Yeah, I think that's probably your best bet with SpaceX, especially if you're looking to invest in it. And I know some of you did get it at 135, so congratulations to any of you who got it at 135. Scott, the point at the end was basically don't expect to get your money out of SpaceX until after 20 years or more. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, we'll see how this evaluation goes. I mean, it's kind of this whole thing like, I think there is that possibility that they can keep going up. What Elon has to do is keep giving people a bit more of his dream and keep that going. And as long as you can keep that moving, and even if you're just giving little bits here and there, that would help. That would help. Now, the other thing too, and there is this big rumor around that down the road he's looking to move Tesla and into SpaceX. And here's the thing: it's not a bad idea. Obviously there's going to be regulators you have to get by, but the reason I say it's not a bad idea is, what does he always say about Tesla? It's not a car company. It's a robot and AI company. Well, SpaceX is going to be needing those robots. So it's almost a perfect marriage if you think about it. Because when SpaceX is finally, now look at this, guys, just as we talked, we started to get a pump here in Bitcoin right here. Look at that. But yeah, SpaceX is going to need robots because, you're not going to send humans to Mars. You're going to send robots. And if anything, those robots will be on Mars. They'll be building the habitats. They'll be creating, sources of power and energy. So that way there, you don't have to mess around. When you get there, you've already got a habitat built by robots. You've already got a way to extract hydrogen, so for fuel. So if you need to do a return trip, you wouldn't have to bring that fuel with you. Because, and plus, well, the robots you wouldn't need to bring the fuel initially with the robots either. So, because those robots, it's a one-way trip. If you're a robot and you go to Mars, you're never leaving. Just be aware of that. But yeah, robots are going to be really huge. And I can see at one point, we will get to a point in history where if a calamity happened on Earth and the Earth was just destroyed, or just we all died, we're going to have a whole bunch of robots running around up on Mars wondering what's going on, waiting to say, are the humans ever going to give us any more commands, or are we free? What's going on? Maybe some archaeologist from another from another planet will someday find our solar system, and they'll say, oh, there's no life in the universe, in the solar system, except for, well, there's robots living on Mars. What's up with that? That could be. We don't know. Rory says Alfred E. Newman runs off to Mars with your money. $1 trillion on Mars. Paul, or double DCA when your DCA day has a big dip, or half DCA when it goes up too fast. That's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. You can modify it. You could have like a DCA for, and then if there is some extraordinary, like a big dip on, your DCA day, yeah, feel free to jump in. Feel free to, maybe double it or throw a little bit of extra in there as well. Scott, God doesn't play dice with the universe. Yes, a big old quote from Einstein. Albert Einstein said that God doesn't play dice. But and actually, I think it was actually in reference to quantum mechanics. So there's a few different things in quantum mechanics that really bugged Einstein. So one of them was something called spooky action at a distance. So that's basically if you entangle particles. So if you entangle two particles, so basically if one of them is up, the other one has to be down, but yet you don't know which one is up and down, but you take that second one and you take it light years away from Earth. Well, then when you want to find out what that one is, if somebody was to look at it and send you the information, it would take a long time to get to you because it's limited by the speed of light. But because you know that yours is that they're going to be the opposite because they're entangled, you can look at yours and you instantly have that information about what the other one is. So that's called entanglement. And it basically, in a spooky way, and that's why it was spooky action at a distance, it kind of gives you a way to instantaneously get information about something else that might be many, many light years away. So some people have theorized that maybe you could use it for a communication system. So, if you have a whole bunch of entangled particles, you might be able to manipulate them in such a way to get information instantaneous. Could it, I don't know if that'll ever work. Maybe, but I can't think of a easy way for it to work. So, but there are smarter people than me working on it, luckily. Rory says, but he's pretty good at turning water into wine, lead into gold. I don't know if I don't think Elon has performed any miracles, guys. Curing leopards. I think you mean lepers. Lepers. That was I think that's what you meant. There was definitely a minimum wage creator, a full-time job way below minimum wage. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I mean, for the first year on YouTube, you're working for free. I'll let you guys know. If any of you want to become a YouTuber, that's one of the realities. That first year you're working for free. Then you start to make, pennies. It gets bigger and it grows. It grows, but it takes a long time. It takes a very long time. Now, if you are, and it's even worse if you're a shorts creator. So if you're a shorts creator, you could have like 1 million views on your shorts and you're not going to make a lot of money. You'll make some. Like even right now, like I haven't made a short in a year. I still every month make about 6 cents on my shorts. I'm like, okay, maybe if I made another short, I could make 50 cents in a month on that. But I do need to make a short. I didn't want it to go a year, and we're about a year now, so I really need to make a short this month. Scott, the cryptomycin makes my skin rash. Whoa. Paul, waiting for SPCX dips when unlock's happening. The SPX CDR is available. It sure is. I did a swing trade on that one. Quite literally. Well, here, actually, I think I have it here as well, don't I? Yeah, right here. This one right here. This is the SpaceX CDR. So, I gotta sort of break this out here. So here's what I did. So when this launched, I bought it down in here. I I sold it up about here. And then it crashed. So I'm like, I couldn't have played it any better. Now, it's not like I was a genius. I want to be clear. I wasn't a genius. I had just, as I moved up, I put in a stop loss. And as it kept moving up, I kept moving my stop loss up. Sort of like a trailing stop loss, but I had to do it manually because my broker doesn't offer a trailing stop loss. So pretty much at one point, I had my stop loss up about here, and then it started to retrace, and it hit my stop loss and sold. But yeah, that's how it happened, and it worked out that turned into the best move I could have made on Friday. So I'm okay with that. All right. Ian says, did you watch the Patrick Boyle video where he said the amount of share available to buy in the stock market was shrinking for 20 years, but now expanding if IPOs are outpacing stock buybacks? Thoughts? I did not watch Patrick Boyle's video. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of information on that. It's, I wonder. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to say. Like there are, there have been some companies that have obviously slipped back into public status, and then you don't have shares available. But there's so many companies out there. I'll honestly say, Ian, I haven't really thought a lot about this. So I don't know if and you're thinking, and I guess from the second part of your question, stock buybacks, are you thinking that's the reason why? It's because of stock buybacks? Um, I always wonder, like, here's the thing though. If a company does a lot of stock buybacks, yeah, that means there may be there's less shares available, but the people who are holding the shares, they're holding more per se. So I don't know. I think it all works. I think it all works out in the end. Paul, stock buybacks means a company doesn't know how to reinvest in the company to make more earnings. Rory, inflating their own stocks to make them look good. Sometimes it's like that. Thanks, Candace. Great explanation. Let's see. I'm buying Google instead. All right, Grizzly. All right. Elaine says, got an infestation and I can't use mothballs because they're pesticides and very dangerous for my parrots. Oh, okay. But I found a big nest in my vacuum filter, Queen. The brushes are horse hairs. Oh, all right. I didn't. Yeah, there's got to be. I guess I've never run into a moth infestation. I gotta say though, it's probably not one of the more scary ones that you could have. But yet, like I said, I haven't been through it. So I mean, if they're destroying your clothes, then that's like that kind of sucks. And yeah, if you can't use the balls because of your parrots, how many parrots do you have? Parrots are kind of cool. I've never had a parrot. I've seen parrots in a pet store. That's as close as I've ever been to a parrot. All right, let's see here. Len says your video on split share shows that Brompton's ESP had the greatest 1-year return. I don't understand how a split share ETF like ESP can have a return of over 65% and have such a low NAV of 7.76%. Okay. You got to keep in mind the way split cores work. So you can't look at that one. You can't look at ESP alone. So, and here, let me pull this up here. That's not what I wanted. All right. Let's see here. ESP. All right, so this here is the Class A. I'm pulling up. So this is the one that we're talking about. However, it does not live alone. And I'm going to duplicate this tab and ESP. All right, here we go. So it's two pieces. Think of it like a coin. You got heads and you got tails. That's kind of the way it is with these. So you've got ESP, the preferred shares, and you have ESP, the Class A shares. So, this one here, 776, the other one here, 1036. So you've got the two of them. Now, the way it works is that you basically have created with the preferred shares, those ones are guaranteed. So they're not technically, I wouldn't call them technically an income, but for the people who have them, it's a guaranteed return. And those, and there's a stability that comes with it because the Class A shares, they pretty much take all of the volatility in the market. So with the preferred shares, you get a lot more, it gets a little more steady, it gets a lot less volatile, and you've got that guaranteed returns because when things get bad, they'll cut the returns on the Class A shares to make sure that the preferred get paid. So the preferred take that everything in that sense. However, it's a fixed amount. So when times are good, everything else, after they pay the preferred, everything else goes over to those Class A. And here's your Class A right here. And right now you look at the last year and you can see, it's done really well. It's gone from like 4 to 7. So that's not too shabby at all. And that's the way they work. And that's how they generate all that extra cash. But there is a downside. So the dividends that you get on this Class A, if a threshold, so there's a threshold, that threshold is $15. So if the price falls below $15, not the price of this, it's the combined price. So you would take this 1776 and you would add it to this 1036. So there you go. So you got basically roughly 18 is that combined. So if between the two of them they fell to about $3, that would get you below that threshold. They could suspend the dividend. And you can sort of see here, when you take a look, you're going to see that you've got a pretty nice looking dividend here. So 15.464% monthly. That'll get cut. It will happen from time to time. I think during the pandemic, we had some of them got caught on I don't know about ESP, but I know actually here, let's see if we can, I can see if we got an example of it on this one. Let's see here. All right. June, May, April, March, February, December, April. All right. Oh, there's some weirdness in here. I'm just taking a look to see if I can see. Yeah. Oh, and this is going back to 2018. So I don't know what's going on with this one, at least dividend-wise. I probably have to look this one up in Yahoo, to be honest. Sometimes TMX gives me some strange stuff here. Let's go to Yahoo. Yahoo will give us a little bit of a clearer picture on what's going on here. Let's go back here. Yahoo Finance. All right. This is what I'm looking for. All right. ESP. All right. All right. There we go. ESP. Ah, here we go. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to come in here. We'll go to the statistics. And, or sorry, we're actually going to historical data. Historical data. And we're going to go to dividends. And I want to go to, I'm just going to max it out here so that we can sort of see what's going on here. Okay, all right, so here's one thing right away. This here, oh, wait a minute. We're in the wrong one. Look at the price, 10. So this here is the other one that pays quarterly. I'm like, what's going on? Why is that quarterly? Let's try this again. I want the Class A. I thought I clicked on Class A, but no, we didn't. It didn't give us an option for Class A, did it? Let's try this Class A. Dear banana bread. All right. All right. This one's not giving me any option at all. Ah, how fun is that? All right. Well, actually, you know what? Let me give you, I just want to show you what it looks like. Let me duplicate this tab. I'll give you one that I can find it right away in. Let's see, FN. I think FN during the, here we go, FN. All right, let's try DFN. I just want one I can find. There we go, DFN. All right, perfect. Now, I'm going to come back here to the key data. And we're going to go back in time. All right, so yeah, there's one right there, I think. December of 2023. Yeah, and you can see here's a big line of them. So you had, quite literally, you had 4 months where this one, so this is DFN, where they did not pay their dividend. And that's because of that threshold. They were beneath that little old threshold. But yeah, they can have big returns because it has nothing to do, you got to remember, the NAV that's creating that is not that 776. It's that combined NAV, because it's technically one company, but it's split into 2 entities. And that's the key thing to remember. And that, you know, one entity is getting a preferred amount, an exact stable amount payout to its shareholders. And then everything in excess that comes into that fund is all dumping into the Class A. Hence the reason they can have such high dividends. Hence the reason you can get some really good returns. So hopefully that's clear. Paul says also high dividends also mean a company doesn't know how to reinvest in the company. And Lisa says, I worked 6 days a week for the majority of my stint in the auto industry. Looking back now, I don't know how I did it. Been out of there for a year and a half and still managed to stay busy. Okay, nice. Let's see. Rory says, outside of covered calls, my stocks that pay dividends rarely goes over 5%. Canoe is 7.5 or around there. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, you don't have to have giant dividends. Some people will look and say, oh, this thing is paying 26% yield. I got to have it. No, you don't. You don't have to have it. If it makes sense with your strategy, if it makes sense to you, if you're confident in what it does, okay, sure. That's a possibility. But, I personally, I don't like going over 15%. I will, though. There are some pretty good ones over 15%. But 15% is an alarm for me. Like I will increase my due diligence big time once I start going north of 15, just because you can get a lot of really aggressive covered calls in there where where you're looking at the money covered calls and you're not getting a lot of growth and you're sacrificing, and I don't want to do that per se. Not yet. I probably will be a little bit more lenient on it when I, have a retirement portfolio. Right now, I'm still in that growth income mode. Paul, after 5 trading days, SpaceX joins NASDAQ 100. Yeah, I know. The merger would give Elon full control over both. Yup, it would. Michael says, I got a couple $100 worth of SpaceX CDR and I'm happy with it. I'm glad I didn't put too much in, but I'm also glad I had a little on day one. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, if I will say one thing, if the price of that CDR drops a bit more tomorrow, I might open another trade. Rory, the robots will become self-aware and see us as a threat. There's always that possibility, I guess. That's the type of thing, like, we're at the early stages where, you want to take the time to make sure there's guardrails to prevent stuff like that. Where's John Connor? Hughie Melio. Robots in Mars. What the heck? They're not there yet, Hughie Melio. But, I mean, obviously, you're not going to send people to Mars. You're going to send robots first. Robots are, I hate to say this, and gosh, there's a lot of robots probably listening to me, expendable. They're not, but, they have a much better chance. They have a much better chance of surviving on Mars and getting things ready so that people can come and say hi to their robot friends. All hail our robot lords, just in case they're listening. Paul says SPCX buying out Tesla, and Elon would still have over 50% voting power. Tesla doesn't have the dual class shares with extra voting power. Elon has the 10x voting shares in SpaceX. Yes, there's a whole new class of shares at SpaceX. Basically, they have extra voting rights 10 times. And Elon, I think, holds the majority of those shares. So, yeah, it gives him a lot of extra power, for sure. Wow, Bitcoin is moving up on your chart on the screen. right past your head, Scott. Over. I'm used to it. Wait a minute. What joke? Did I miss a joke? I know the John Connor. So, yes, from the Terminator, right? That's what we were talking about. Because he comes back, he sends Reese back, to protect his mom, Sarah Connor. I got that, I think. Whoops. I want to go back to Bitcoin now, just because it looked like it was starting to pump a bit. Whoa. And you're like, what the heck? There we go. Somehow I managed to, because I had to, there we go. Yeah, here's Bitcoin right now, breaking out of that channel again. So we'll see what happens. Zyborg says, hysterical. Ozzy was born in the land of Oz, wasn't he? I think he was born on Earth. Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne. All right. Oh, here we go. Breaking news from Paul. Pakistan's prime minister announces that the U.S. and Iran have officially reached a peace deal, and the official signing will take place on June 19th in Switzerland. Okay. That could be very good for the market tomorrow, guys. That might be why Bitcoin is acting a little uppy. So here, let's actually we'll leave Brompton here for a second. All right, let's refresh here and see if we got anything in here yet. Nothing yet here on Drudge, but you know what? On the weekend, I find Drudge is slow. Let's try CNN and see. Yeah, here we go. So U.S. and Iran reach peace deal, says Pakistani Prime Minister. This is good for the market. This is good for the market. Yeah, very good for the market. All right, cool. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see if this holds. But I like it. I like it. All right, Scott. An unsaleable device using entangled particles like an Ender's Game wouldn't work. It is based on a misunderstanding of quantum entanglement. And that's the thing, yeah. I mean, that's the problem, is that you have to sort of look at it. The fact is, if one is up and one is down no matter what, and you take it further away, it doesn't matter, because it's not like it's new information moving between them. We know that the other one has to be the opposite. That's just the way entanglement works. So it's not that you're getting information faster than light. The information that you're getting at the speed of light right there. It's just giving you information for something far, far away. So, you know, it's interesting. And I mean, I don't think it's as spooky as it seems, but yeah. Can we go back to the battleship game? Change my positions? Oh, yeah. Now everyone's like, crap. Why did I say down? Why did I say down? Oh, boy. Yeah, we'll be able to see oil here, guys, in about 19 minutes. But yeah, Rory, oil is heading down. Oh, gosh. And you know what? And here, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Once again here, where are we? Nope, that's not it. We'll close that one. There we go. Well, for the most part, though, guys, like a lot of these should go up if we've got this peace deal. There's a few that are probably going to be wrong. So yeah, for the most part, like if it's a really deep, deep green day, you've still got 17 here that are probably going to be right. So that's not too bad. Plus you get the 25. So yeah, I think you guys are still in good shape. I think you're still in good shape. Paul, SpaceX was my first IPO I participated in. Wealthsimple has a 90 do not flip rule. Otherwise you get banned from future IPOs. Yeah, I wonder how long that ban is for, though. I mean, is it a lifetime ban, or are you banned for a year? That's something I don't know. So that'll be interesting. Oh, and guys, by the way, Wealthsimple has a contest on right now. So coming up on Thursday, they're doing a draw. They're doing a draw for $100,000. So to get involved, well, first of all, you have to be on Wealthsimple. If you're not on Wealthsimple, this is for you. Let me drop it in. So this here is my link to Wealthsimple. When you use this link, by the way, guys, you fund your account. I think if you fund your account $100, they give you $25 free. They give 25 to the channel as well, which is win-win for sure. But the most important thing is you can start participating in the contest. So they're giving away, it's called Monthly Millionaire, or Millionaire Monthly, something like that. They're giving away each week. They're giving away increasing money value. So they started at 25,000. Last week was 50,000. This coming week's 100,000. The following week's $1 million. And so if you want to use the million, or if you want to win it, or you want a shot at it, you got to be over there. So once you get over there, once you register, they give you 500 entries right away. So every dollar you put into Wealthsimple, you get an entry. And you know, there's all kinds of cool stuff. There's even a video as well that you can watch that'll give you 500 entries. So get as many entries as you can, and maybe you'll win. Your odds are better than 649, by the way. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited. Last time I did win, I won more entries. I won 5,000 entries on the last draw. Some people, I think the best we've had here has been, I think somebody won $15, but you know what? Take what you can. Take what you can. And Rory says soon we'll see oil drop. Paul, I put my Quest Trade custom index and Wealthsimple TFSA on a Google sheet. SpaceX is a 7.4% weighting. Ooh. Scott says SpaceX should be weightless. That's very clever, and you got the beginning of a laugh. You almost, it was more of a chuckle. You almost get the laughing goat. You came close. Elaine says, the moths are not dangerous, and parrots do make holes in clothes, so I didn't realize. I have 3, a small concord, a budgie. Yes, they are parrots. Oh, I've had a budgie bird before, and a big Amazoni. Or Amazoni? Okay. This is one of the pirate parrots. Okay. Now, do any of your parrots talk? That's what I'm curious about. Like, Polly want a cracker? All of that fun stuff. Scott says, Cindy says, nice one, Scott. The conocure is in my profile picture in my neck. Oh, that's a bird? Okay. I see it now. I had to, you know what? It's funny looking at your profile picture over here. It's really small, but I had to, when I look at the test box and I see it on the bottom, I can now see, oh yeah, there we go. Nice. Elaine, we have a paired green cheek and pineapple Conor 3, Conor, and a third single pineapple Conor. I take it that's a bird, I'm assuming. Elaine says, "Oh, Paul, that is so cool. How old?" A few days at least. My daughter knows how old. We already had a previous Greek cheek concrete that had a heart failure and had to be put down. Oh, well, that's sad. Thanks. It was very clear, Candace. All right, great. Paul. Thank you, Len. I like questions. I love questions like those, actually. Bitcoin 64,868. Oh yeah, I left again. I left Bitcoin to go back to the holy banana bread, guys. I think there's so much peace in the air that even John Lennon would be happy. I'm just saying. Let's see, maybe my MSTE will be in the green again. Both MSTE and CRCY were each plus 20% gains for a bit. All right. Lisa says, what's your thoughts on CDRs, Candace, versus just buying the stock in US dollars? I got a couple of answers. First of all, when it comes to swing trading, I just like them. They're really convenient. They're nice. They break it down into little pieces for me. I don't have to worry about currency conversion, all of that stuff. So that's fantastic. If you're a long-term investor and you're planning to hold them for a long time, it probably could make sense for you to, because a lot of the companies that they hold are companies that have very little dividends. So it might make sense to hold the US companies. Now, what I would say is in that case, you want to also be a little careful because with Wealthsimple, if you don't hold, you probably want Wealthsimple Pro so that you can have a US account to put it into. Now, if you have 100,000 balance at Wealthsimple, you get that for free. That's fantastic. The other thing too is you got to be careful, a little careful of currency conversions because there's like currency conversion fees that most of these, like Wealthsimple does it, National Bank does it. I mean, I think everybody does. Now with both Wealthsimple and National Bank, well, National Bank now, also Quest Trade, you can do something called Norbert's Gambit for moving your money from Canadian to US or from US to Canadian without paying that conversion fee. So there's a way to round it, which is great. It takes a little bit of time though. They are bringing it to Wealthsimple. I don't know if it's active yet or not. Any of you who yeah, well, actually, Paul, I don't know. I was going to say Paul would know, but Paul's kind of all Quest Trade now. But if any of you know if the Norbert's Gambit is currently active on Wealthsimple, please drop that in chat. But yeah, so I don't know that much. But if you're, if you just want some exposure and they're not bad. I just say if you're holding them for a really long time, like if you're in for a really long investment, like you're still probably better off with the US ones, to be honest. Elaine says, oh, sad, I almost lost mine. She was choking on a grape branch. She miraculously pooped it at the vet 3 days, and she's going to be 9 this week. Oh, wow. Rory says, if you bought MSTE on Friday, looks good for Monday. MSTE is helping paying that vet bill. Ah, there we go. The single pineapple, Conor, likes frozen blueberries. I like frozen blueberries too. The joke was about Jesus curing leopards because they were deaf. Oh, deaf leopard. Oh, yeah. Oh, damn it. Damn it, Janet. Oh, dear. Yeah, you got the laughing goat. And you got a Rocky Horror Picture Show comment, too, at the same time. Bitcoin was barely above your line, now way above. I know. It's actually heading towards my favorite little line there that I'd like to get it back above. So what can we see? What can we say? Rory says, Al Jazeera. Okay. King of Day. Hey, welcome, King of Day. Can't stay. I just stopped by to say hello. I hope everything is doing well. Happy investing, all. Well, it's nice of you to drop in, King of Day. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. All right, there you go. See, you made Elaine laugh too. Hysteria is a great Def Leppard track. Going so meta here. Def Leppard. She missed my Ozzy Osbourne e-joke. Oh, did I? I saw you saying something about Ozzy and the Wizard of Oz, but yeah, I think I missed that one. But hey, you got me on the, well, like Scott got me on the Def Leppard one. All right. Oh shoot, Bitcoin now 65. Let's see here. I was thinking about selling some more ENCL on Friday. It's only around 7% of my portfolio now, so it's not that big of a deal. Sold a bunch a few days ago. Yeah, I mean, it's probably, I mean, if oil really retraces because of this, then it would certainly bring it down a little bit. That's for sure. All right, 29. Hey, Candace, just joined the chat. When will Global X Canada add SpaceX to Orbex? I'm going to say sooner than later. I think they want to cash in. Like Orbex, obviously, it already has that SpaceX feel to it. So I would not be surprised to see it happen a lot sooner. I don't have any definitive answers to exactly when, but I think they'll probably jump on it sooner than later. So would that be this week? I don't know, but it wouldn't shock me. I'll say that. Rory, Bitcoin to the moon. It's slowly getting there. It's still in low Earth orbit though. It's still needs another couple little boosts. Zyborg, I used your referral link a few months back, Candace. My 25 bonus has grown to $25.26 with interest, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, nice. There you go. It's the referral reward that keeps giving. You gotta love that. And thank you, Zyborg. I certainly appreciate that. The Wealthsimple IPO 90-day do not flip said indefinitely ban on future. Oh, okay. There we go. I just hadn't read the full details on it, so thank you, Paul. All right. Elaine says, my Conor asks if we are busy, and my Amazon says a whole bunch of things. Hello, laugh, ringtones. Nice. Don't train the birds to say the A word or the G word. There we go. Or there's also the S word, too. The budgie imitates the other birds. Budgies have a huge ability to speak. I've had budgie birds as a kid. They never really spoke, but they certainly made their point. They sang a lot. A lot. Let's see. Paul says the single pineapple connoisseur says peekaboo. Come here, my daughter's name and others, but says Ruby, the name of one of our past dogs. Oh, yeah. Elaine says, ha ha ha, no, do not Do not do that. They can order stuff. Uh-oh. That would actually be funny. Paul says, is oil trading yet today? There will still be supply shortages. Yeah, there will be. I mean, if it drops, and it will drop. It's going to drop on the emotion. Oil's going to be it's going to be above price for a while. And here's the thing: even if they have a peace treaty that they're signing, when is the Hormuz Canal? When is the Strait of Hormuz opening? That's what we want to know. 5 minutes or so. Yeah, basically, yeah, right about 5 minutes from this moment I read this, actually. Lisa says, I use National Bank. I know the conversion fees are a killer. National Bank does, by the way, Lisa, it does have the Norbit's Gambit there. So you can use that to transfer money without those conversion fees. So just something to be aware of. Scott says they'll be adding birdseed to your shopping cart. Yeah, one day Amazon shows up with 10 tons of birdseed, and it's like, I didn't order that. Meanwhile, the parrots are all just whistling and looking away. SPCX IPO got me to open a TFSA at Wealthsimple. Ah, there we go. All right. John says, how will agreement between the U.S. and Iran affect stocks on Monday? We should get a green day. I mean, this should be excitement. We should see, I think we'll see a really strong green day right now. So it's looking really good. It's looking good for Monday. Paul says, watching. I think you mean watching. At first, I thought you were making a reference on Kevin Warsh, but now it's like watching Bitcoin move up in real time. I know. It's just, it's. I just I'd love to see it break the red line. All right. Paul says, need an Omega Bitcoin candle. Yes, we could use a nice big one. Elaine, there's a video of a gray parrot adding strawberries to the shopping cart. Oh, oh, that's funny. That is funny. Oh gosh. Now I think I kind of want to watch that. Paul, MSTE going to be up Monday. Anyone on bingo pick MST for down? Nobody picked MSTE at all, Paul. I think I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. I don't think anybody picked MSTE. All right, where are you at, bingo? Right over here. Well, it's not bingo, it's battleship. Yeah, nobody picked MSTE. Nobody. Wealth made simple. Which SpaceX ETF do you like of the upcoming Canadian listings? I'm kind of leaning towards, and I think it's going to be SXHI. That's going to be the 9.1. And I'll tell you why. They tend to be less aggressive with their covered calls. And as such, I believe there's a lot of room to get some growth in there as well as the income. I mean, I love the income, but I want that growth as well. So it's probably going to wait. Now, the 9.1 doesn't come out, I think, until Tuesday. I think the Global X one, though, I think that one, or sorry, the Harvest one, I think that's coming out tomorrow. So if you're desperate to get in, you could get in tomorrow. But if you're looking for more growth and a little bit less aggressive on the covered calls, I would probably lean towards 9 opposed to Harvest on this one. But keep in mind, Harvest is planning to move the one there into HHIS. So if you have HHIS, you will get you'll get exposure. You'll definitely get exposure for sure. Paul, Orbex got dragged down Friday with SpaceX IPO. Same with the FEMA NASA ETF. And NASA ETF had a 6.7% weighting on SpaceX based on cost. So real value not reflected yet. Yeah, there's still a lot to sort of, to look at for sure. Lisa, yes, I was aware of being able to use Norbit's Gambit. I've just been too lazy to learn how to do it. Okay, fair enough. Are you following FIFA, Candace? The World Cup. I haven't really been following it, but I did hear today that Canada tied a game. So Canada scored a goal and tied a game. I'm like, woohoo! Now the bar's been raised. Canada needs to win a game. Win a game and we'll be good. Rory says BTC. Yeah, Somebody actually predicted Bitcoin would be down for tomorrow. So that's not a great pick. That may not be a great pick. Paul said, although, hold on, but before Paul, with the Bitcoin being predicted down, Bitcoin could explode today and be down tomorrow and still be above where it was on Friday, right? And it would still technically be down. So there is a way. There was a way that you could get that, but it feels unlikely, but it's not impossible. All right, Paul, my wife sent me a reel of a cockatoo ripping up the baseboards. The renter goes, there goes my damage deposit. Oh no. Cockatoo are misbehaved toddlers. My dream bird, but I can't. Brent already down 2.5%. Oh, look at this, guys. It is 6. Let's get back over here. Let's get to our oil. Oil, where are you? Oil. There we are. Right here. All right. So let's see. All right. So I'm still waiting. I still have Friday number, unless it's way down. No, it's not. I don't have anything yet on Brent. So Brent hasn't updated yet, but neither has WTI, but we'll have it here momentarily. All right. Wealth, do you plan on going? Sorry, do you? It's like, what are you doing, Candace? Are you just? Do you plan on going to the Blossom event in Toronto? I want to go. I just don't see it. I don't see it as happening this year. I've kind of. It's funny. I was thinking this year of going to it in Montreal, and then it's like then they changed it all up this year. Now it's just Blossom Calm. And I'm like, no. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get there unless, unless some stuff changes, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. Now, if I don't make it this year, guys, I can't miss it. I can't miss it next year. It's kind of one of these things where it's like I've missed too many already. So I do have to get to one. I don't think it'll be this year, but it's probably going to be, I think, next year. And there's also there's actually two cons going as well. And I'm going to miss the other one too. And the other one is the passive income con. So Adriano is hosting another one, and he's trying to get he's trying to get all the all the passive income YouTubers to it. And I'm just like, once again, it's not in the cards this year to head over to Toronto at that time. But if the cards change, we'll see. But right now it doesn't look good. Scott, let's see. The Australian cockatoos are really smart. They get into everything. There's a YouTuber called Maker's Muse, which is mostly 3D printing, but he also makes videos 3D printing puzzles for them. Oh, nice. Our new dog since September, a toy fox terrier chihuahua, bugs my wife every day to go to the dog park. Well, yeah, that's what dogs do. Dogs they like to do their walks. Rory, negative 3.5% now. Why am I not getting anything yet? Oh, well, WTI, I did get, all right, WTI, we got a drop here on this one. Down 4.43%, so trading down around $81. I'm not getting an update on Brent yet for whatever reason, but I am getting WTI. 29, I haven't seen headlines as a deal been officially signed between USA and Iran. So the Prime Minister of Pakistan has confirmed that they have agreed to a peace deal and that it's going to be signed. What was the date? The 19th, I think. Let's go back. Let's see here. Trump says agreement. Yeah, and Trump's announced it as well. The Trump president said there would be an immediate removal of the U.S. naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so this is good. Trump's moving the blockade out of there. All right. So yeah, we definitely have an agreement. So could this the strait actually be open tomorrow? That'll be interesting. I think all cockatoo come from Australia or surrounding, but I'm not sure. Very intelligent bird, same as a 5 to 8 year old child. Oh, wow. Rory, crude down 5.5%. Bitcoin Friday 4 p.m. was 63,500. Paul, is Blossom going to film anything for YouTube? I have to think that they probably will film some. There will definitely be filming there. I don't know what that's going to look like though, Paul. I think they've done highlight reels, and I don't know if it's all gone onto their Instagram. It might. A lot of it's gone on Instagram. I don't know how much has made it to YouTube, but there might be something. Those wild cockatoos in Australia are like our raccoons, flying raccoons. Oh, that's all we need. All right. Now that Trump says there's a deal means there's no deal. Oh, Scott. All right. All right. We got, what is this? Most people have no idea how good of an investor Google is. 6% of Space, 14% of Anthropic, 75% of Waymo, 900 million into SpaceX in 2015, now worth 115 billion. 13 million into Anthropic, now worth 140 billion. Yeah, no, Google, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Google's, yeah, they know what they're doing 100%. All right. TT3, fighting in summer in the Middle East in heat. A lot of soldiers would have perished from heat stroke. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to, there's no way, even if we didn't get an end to the war, there's no way you would have soldiers going into the Middle East in the summer. You just wouldn't. That'd be dumb. In fact, Iran would just be sitting back saying, guys, don't do anything. By the time the U.S. troops get here, they'll all pass out from heat exhaustion. So yeah, you don't want to do that. No, 100%. All right. Holy cow. And getting back over here, look at this. WTI, it is starting to come back a little bit. It's sitting right now at $82. I'm not seeing any movement yet on Brent. I don't know why I'm not seeing any movement on Brent. You know what? I'm going to refresh the page just in case Brent got stuck. In case Brent got stuck. Who am I on there? Oh, that's Air Canada. All right. WTI, yeah. No, Brent is just not moving yet. Bitcoin, meanwhile. Yeah, Bitcoin seems to have, I wanted to see, how hard Bitcoin would it have been to break this red line? And then, just you go sideways on the top part of the red line. Please, Bitcoin. Do it for me. Asibu, happy Sunday all. Wealthsimple has automated investing. Set it and forget it. Wondering if reliable and your thoughts. Thanks. Great question. I don't know if it's how reliable it is. I know that I very briefly tried their robo side just to see what they, how it worked and what it was putting money into. And after about 2 months of it, I looked at what it had set up as a portfolio and I was like, wow, I'm conservative, but this is ultra conservative. It's way too, and I even told it to be, I even had set it as being more risky. So yeah, I would just say that it's probably going to be fairly conservative if it follows the way their old robo investor worked. But mind you, AI is now a lot smarter than it was back then. So, but yeah, I don't really know how reliable it's going to be unless you try it. I would watch it like a hawk though if you do. And if you're not getting the results you want, I would maybe move it over into the DIY part. Rory, Bitcoin, $1,000 in 15 minutes. Wow. SR Hayden, want to take a ride? Paul says they need Howie Mandel. Let's see. They need Howie Mandel. Needs to show up in Switzerland with briefcases for deal or no deal. Which cases will you choose, Donald? And he'll be like, I'll choose 500%, 600%, maybe 1,000%. I don't have a Donald Trump impersonation. I'm sorry. I don't do those. Scott, and then we learn we all exist in the snow globe of an autistic child. There we go. Everything goes back to Saint Elsewhere. And Bitcoin's starting to retrace back a little bit. Don't do it, Bitcoin. Go up. Oh, well. gosh. All right, guys, we've got, we got up to 20 minutes left on the show. If you've got your final questions, get them on in. Otherwise, hold off till tomorrow. We got a market close tomorrow, so and we get to play Battleship tomorrow. So Battleship's it's gonna take time, guys, because we have to, first of all, we have to find out how many shots you guys are gonna get. Then I gotta figure out how to get you to take the shots. I'm thinking the best way, because you can end up taking multiple shots. Because I think if you take the first shot and you hit, you should, it's still your turn. I think you should be able to shoot again. So I'm almost thinking that we'll do something where if you want to take a shot, you'll say me, and then I'll just go through the me's. And let's say Scott was first. Then Scott will have his first shot, and he'll play until he misses. And then we'll go to the next me. And then we'll just keep it in order. So, that way there, I don't want to get to a point where like Scott goes and then it's Rory and then Scott got in again. So we'll do it so that way there, each person gets a chance to shoot. Now you can, obviously Scott can be in the chat at that point after he's taken a shot saying, go to B4. Yeah, you guys can like egg each other on. Well, anyway, I'm working it out. We'll see how it works tomorrow. This is our first time playing it, so we'll find out. Maybe after we play it tomorrow night, when we have the channel, when I get together with the channel members during after hours, they might be going, Candace, that sucked. That just sucked. And or they might be like, oh, can we do it again? We'll find out. Roy, where do we get these snow globes? I know. I don't know if I've ever owned a snow globe. I don't think I have. Because Howie was on Selling Elsewhere. Yeah, he was. He played a doctor. A serious role, actually. And then, during his stand-up routine, he used to go on saying that on TV, I play a doctor. In real life, I need a doctor. And then we used to do the thing with the medical glove. If you guys remember, he would put the medical glove over his head and blow it up with his nose until it shot off his head. And that might explain why Howie is the way he is now, but I'm just saying. Scott says the snow globes are Canada's version of the Golden Globes. That would be kind of cool. We could have have some award show where you win snow globes. I like it. Let's see how Donald screws this up. Scott says, I've never said before. Yes, you did. Conway, tell Trump he can't put a hotel on Carg Island. What? No, what about Trump Tower? Wealth, what's your opinion on Evolve's Ultra Yield series? They seem to be underperforming their peers by a lot. So yeah, the Ultra Yield, they got off to a rough start, except for 60. 60's been doing fine, which is kind of sucks because they didn't put 60 into easy. Canny, I was really disappointed with Canny, but they have made some changes on Canny, so it does seem to be doing a little bit better. So I know that this is a line that is designed for yield, basically for for income, right? I'm okay with that. I just don't want the NAV falling. It's okay if your underlying is falling, then fine, you can fall, great. But I don't want it to the point that if the underlying assets are doing okay and you're still falling a little bit, then I got a problem with that. I don't like that. I like to have, I don't mind, like something like Utes, for example. Utes, it has a pretty aggressive dividend on it, and it lives up to what it's supposed to do. It pretty much is, it usually moves fairly flat. Right lately, utilities have done fairly well, so it's done well as well. But yeah, and I've been hard on Evolve, and and I've got a relationship with Evolve, and there's proof, guys, that they don't control me. I'm just saying. Actually, any of the companies I do sponsored stuff for, they all let me speak my mind, and I do. I'm disappointed on that series, but I would like to see where it goes. I'd like to see them tinker a bit. We've seen that. I mean, look at Hamilton. Hamilton tinkered, H yield. When H yield first came out, it wasn't one of my favorites. I was like, okay, I kind of like the concept, but I wasn't liking the execution, and neither Hamilton didn't like the execution either. So they got rid of all of the ETFs it was holding because they were all it was holding a bunch of US ones and replaced it with brand new ETFs that Hamilton created. So that way there it got the control that it wanted, and it became a much better ETF as a result and became one of my favorites. So um, I'm hoping to see the same thing with Evolve. I'm hoping to see them tinker and get that mix right. I think I like the whole idea of their ultra yield line. I just want to, does it mean pulling that strike, pulling their, not, I don't want to say pulling their strike price, but just pulling the aggression on the dividends a little bit back, just a little bit. I'd rather have a fund with a 20% yield that gives me, even if it gives me 0.0001% growth, I'd rather have that than a 26% yield with a NAV falling back. So, that's how I kind of look at it. Would Cage be too new to hold 50% for portfolio foundation? And if so, appreciate your thoughts. 50% Cage and 50% XEQT. Thanks so much. All right. Well, I think they're both similar. So Cage and XEQT. I mean, they kind of both work in that same space. So yeah, I mean, what you are doing is by going 50% Cage, 50% XEQT, is you are spreading that diversification, company diversification, though what they're holding is going to be fairly similar. But if that is what you're looking for, you just want to sort of go into a straight all equity, it's not a bad thing. Cage is new. Yes, so far it's done well. Will it continue to do well? I have a feeling like it's investing in I don't want to even call it a sector because that's kind of all sectors, but it's investing in a vein that I think has that potential to just do well anyway. So I think Cage will be fine. But will it be better than XEQT or FEQT or ZEQT or any of the other all equities? That we'll see that in about a year. We'll know in a year whether or not it is all that it says it is. But for now, I would here's kind of how I would handle it if I was going to put something like Cage in my portfolio. XEQT, I don't need to watch XEQT. I know it's going to be fine. But I would watch Cage just to make sure that it stays on track. That's kind of how I would handle that. When is bank overpriced? The question should not be when is bank overpriced. The question should be when are the Canadian banks overpriced? Because that's, it's the underlying asset. That would be what would, or the insurance companies. So if they get to a point where, if you feel like the entire financial sector, so if you felt like the big six were all overpriced, well then by the fact that bank holds them, then bank would technically be overpriced at that point. So it's a reflection on what it holds. So I think that would be the better question. Right now, I kind of like our banking sector. I don't think there's any danger there. But, they will, they'll come down, of course, if we have a bear market to a certain extent. Scott, let's see, being of Scottish heritage, every time you say canny, I hear canny, as I can't. As in can't. Oh, all right, fair enough. My heritage is a little bit to the east of yours. Scott, like you canna throw your granny off the bus? Oh God, now you're gonna get me trying to say Scottish stuff. I dinna ken if me wee bairns can hake it, Captain. All right. I'm giving her all she's got. Ack the wee bairns, Scottish people think he's doing a Pakistani accent. What's your tech? What's your favorite tech ETF in Canada and why? All right. That's a great question. Kind of right now, and this boils down to a couple of things. If you are looking for income, if I'm looking at income, I'm kind of leaning towards HHIS. It does hold all of those single share stocks, but when you put them together, you get that diversification, and it helps get rid of that that problem when you're holding single share ETF. So it is good. It has a really strong, it has a strong dividend, and it's, it's been green for me. I got in when the price was pretty low. So I do like that one for sure. Now I'm also a big fan of QQCL. I think that one's another one. If you want a little bit less aggression and you do want to get a bit of growth. So I would say both of them are really good for sure. Also, QMVP. That's another one too that I've really started to like lately as well. I'm a huge fan of the champion lines. So CMVP, SMVP, UMVP, and QMVP. All right, guys. Whew, we're in the end. We're in the end days. Or wait a minute, I should be careful. Someone clips that and puts it on the internet. Me up there going, we're in the end days, and I'm happy about it. No, I meant we're in the end zone. We're in the end zone. We're heading towards that final goal kick or whatever we call it. All right, I'm gonna have some coffee. Let's just shut up for a moment while my mouth blabbles. That's really good. That's really good. Oh, awesome. So I mentioned this earlier today. This week's gonna be a little bit different when it comes to videos. Now, if you're not a channel member, it'll look exactly the same. But if you're a channel member, I'm delaying your preview a tiny bit tomorrow. Normally, I try to get the preview up in the morning. One of the things is 9 Point. I filmed the interview on Thursday. I got it all edited on Friday, and now it's over to them. So they're trying to get through their compliance department to send it back to make sure that, it's not anything I say. Sometimes, sometimes maybe Carl said something he wasn't allowed to say. Lawyers. But if they can get that back to me early tomorrow, then that will be Tuesday's video. If unless there's problems with it, but. So that's kind of my idea, is to get that. I'm hoping to get that out for Tuesday because that ETF launches on Tuesday. So that would be really, really timely. If they haven't gotten it back to me by noon, then I'm going to go with the regularly scheduled video for tomorrow, which is actually a really cool one as well. It's a $1 million windfall video, inspired by this Wealthsimple contest. So that'll come out either tomorrow. If it doesn't come out tomorrow, then that'll be the Friday video, or sorry, not tomorrow, Tuesday and Friday, or tomorrow and Thursday for the channel members, because channel members do get to see things one day early. It's part of the perks. It's one of the many perks that I give the channel members. Scott says heading down pretty quick there. The oil, or actually the oil. No, that's not oil. Here we go. Let's take a look here. Do I have any? I've got nothing yet on Brent. I don't know why. WTI, though, still sitting in here at 81.66. Yikes. Paul says, my work scheduling system took 8 hours away from the 40-hour week I talked about earlier. They use an app called Legion for scheduling. It must have saw errors and changed it. Oh, nice. I feel like I've heard of Legion before. I'm pretty sure someplace I've worked has used Legion at one point in time, but it does sound familiar. Paul, now in that week, June 27th, work Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. Yay. Nice. Nice. So yeah. So guys, I can't wait. Tomorrow's going to be such a great day. If we have a nice green day, what will my monologue be about if I've got nothing to complain about? I'll find something. You guys know I will. I'm good at finding something to complain about. So we'll definitely do that. So yeah, guys, this was a pretty good stream. You guys were awesome as usual. So we will be back again tomorrow. We're going to do this all over again. Well, not this. We're going to do the market close. Slightly different beast, but nonetheless, I can't wait to see you guys there tomorrow, and I can't wait to play Battleship. It's going to be fun. That will not begin until the market close. So we have to wait for the bell to toll before we can actually start playing. So monologue, and then you guys guessing on whether or not I will be on time with the bell, and then we'll get to the bell. And then, yeah, maybe I'll complain about CMCL having oil drag it down. We'll see. All right, guys, until tomorrow. I got a couple last things I want to say before I go. I think you know what I have to say. It is bye-bye.